Hello everybody, Buddy Webb, Midland, Texas. I got an interesting video for you tonight. It shouldn't be very long either, and it's important. I think it's one of the most important, and I hope I do this justice. It come off. There was a Facebook comments tonight earlier, and so I posted this reply. And so I think I'll just jump in there and show you. It's right here on my Facebook. That's under Buddy Wayne Webb if you have Facebook. If not, you'll see it. Okay, and this is a real short read here. Okay, and basically it's saying blaming the crime victim. That's going to be the name of this video. A few minutes after I was shot, Midland police officer April Chandler was filling out a form for the hospital, and she wrote, "Mr. Webb showed paranoia to the extent that he caused himself to suffer a gunshot wound." Of course, I wasn't shot with my gun. You can see that she started to write that I shot myself and scribbled that out, as I believe she knew that was a direct lie. She was clearly trying to blame me when I was the crime victim, and I've seen this before. Okay, I'm trying to read off my screen here which one I want. The ex-wife came by after I shot, and she said, "You don't know how many lives you run with your idiocy." Once again, she was trying to blame me because these criminals chose to sneak into a private home and shoot me by surprise, just like Chandler. My dad and I had a conversation, and we were talking about the burglar that was trapped in the bathroom when he said, "Yeah, but you wired the door shut. You had the safety off on your shotgun." And I replied right back, "I was under a home invasion." That means this is my late dad. I was sure that he knew right there because of that conversation. He never admitted it. Here are the facts of this case, which show without a doubt there's no way to blame me for criminals coming to my home with guns. I had reported repeated felony burglaries to the police a year before I unknowingly trapped one of them burglars in the bathroom. Keep that thought in mind, okay? We're going to go look at something here. It's important that I trapped a burglar. I had been reporting burglars to the police, for over a year. Actually, I was told that the last owner was reporting people to his friends. People were breaking in this house before he died. Anyway, this is Texas. This is Texas law burglary. Texas Penal Code 30.02. A person commits an offense if, without the effective consent of the owner, the person enters a habitation or a building or any portion of a building not then open to the public with the intent to commit a felony, theft, or assault. And they shot me inside my home. Okay, and so I think we can all agree that's burglary. They're also stealing from me. They're stealing services: heating, cooling, electricity, shelter. They're not paying taxes. They're not paying rent. These are freeloaders is what's going on. They're taking money out of. They're sticking their hand in my pocket and pulling money out and sticking it in their pocket. These are thieves. Okay, that's all there is to it. They're breaking in a private home and they're stealing. But it's probably better than having to pay a motel room, or rent like the rest of us. Get a job and pay rent, And so, anyway, I wanted to be real clear about burglaries, okay? That's a felony. And the other thing I'll show you up here, current detainees. This is for the for the city of Midland. I'm going to do a quick search right here. I got to type this out and have it. Hey, that should be good enough. There's 16 of them. Okay, I typed habitation on this page right here, and I'll just hit enter. Okay, burglary habitation there, and it doesn't say this one wasn't sentenced, but we know it's a felony 2. It's an F2, burglary habitation, $100,000 bond. Okay, and we already defined what burglary is. You come in my house and uninvited. Okay. Got 180 days on this sentence for felony 2. Okay. There's another one. There's no sentence. Another one. And here in a minute, I've been through these. This one, 3 years. So they got 3 years. I've seen them get 10 years and more for burglary of habitation, because this is a felony 2 crime. This is a very serious crime. Like I said, it's not felony 1, but it is very serious felony 2 crime. And while we're here, I just want to show you something that's interesting. We're going to type child. Okay, and this time we got 67 of them here, and this is the Midland Detainees, the jail, and I want to show you how many of these are. You know, it's amazing. Sex abuse of a child, sexual assault for a child, aggravated sexual assault child, that's a different person. Okay, indecency with a child, aggravated sexual, indecency with a child, aggravated sexual assault with a child, sexual assault with a child, and I won't do them all because there's 67 of them. I just kind of wanted to show you that we got a problem here, okay? And I think part of it might be connected with them underground homes. You know, I mean, I suspected that this kind of stuff, that's what was going on down there. You know, they were pimping out little girls, and if they didn't prostitute, they were murdered. Okay, so let me get back to wherever I was at there. Here are the facts of this case, which show without a doubt that there is no way to blame me for criminals coming to my home with guns. I had reported repeated felony burglaries to police a year before I unknowingly trapped one of these burglars in my bathroom. And I showed you, I defined burglary. I was on the other side of the door that I tie-wired shut, the bathroom door, with every right to protect my life with a gun and every right to protect my life and property. This is my home. Just like you do at your home. You have the right to protect your home if I come breaking your home with a gun. You know, I think we can all agree to that, right? So you need to agree that I have the right to protect my home. This was a dire situation. If you're the criminal who sneaked into a private home, but they had a choice, okay? They or their friends could have called 911. Remember, they're trapped in that bathroom. And that's what these people are trying to blame me for, because I trapped that burglar. They or their friends could have called 911 and turned themselves in for this felony, but then they would go to prison for many years. We saw that when I went and showed you that on the detainee. I've seen them up to 10 years, 20 years. And it would expose the many other crimes connected with this home. The murder of the last homeowner, the murder of the little girl, the underground access, the 4 underground homes, all the other homes around here that are rigged with hidden access. You know, that's why they tried to murder me, because if they called 911 and then it was going to expose all their other crimes. They tried to murder their way out of it. They were caught during the commission of a felony. Felony was burglary of habitation. This may be the reason they tried to murder me inside my home. First, they cut my phone lines and then, boom, shot me by surprise. I screamed for help as they listened to me and waited for me to die. The facts are clear. These criminals made a choice to sneak into a private home and murder an innocent homeowner, but I've noticed that certain people have tried to shift the blame to me, the guy that was home and minding his own business. You can compare what happened to me to Charles Manson and his gang when they went to the home of Sharon Tate and murdered her. They were also not invited to her home, okay? That's the big deal. They broke in her home and murdered her. Since they chose to try to murder me inside my own home, this violent crime became capital, okay? And now carries life in prison. That's just Texas law. That's not Buddy's law. If they had been successful, then this would be a death penalty case, which may still happen if they're the same ones who murdered the guy that lived here before me, and that just makes sense they are. There is no statute of limitations for capital attempted murder. You know, this should have been arrest a long time ago. You know, but we can go another 20 years and they can still be arrested because there is no statute of limitation. Because this, that's the ultimate crime, taking a life, right? Murder and attempted murder, that is the ultimate crime. When you take somebody else's life, and these criminals chose to break into a private home, chose to shoot an unsuspecting homeowner. And they had another choice, and that was to call the police and arrest the criminal that was breaking in my home. And then I finished this up on my Facebook tonight. I said, does anybody have any question on whose fault it is when criminals sneak into a private home and shoot the homeowner by surprise? And I'm asking my YouTube friends too. You watch this video and it's like, yeah, I have a question. Whose fault is that if I break into your home with a gun, I mean, who is that? My fault because I broke in there with a gun, or is it your fault because you're home minding your own business, If you need that question answered, then I'll sure help you, And so here, that's what I posted, was what I showed you was Chandler's stuff. So anyways, that's a short video. I think important here, and I only got a couple more, was just proof that I wasn't shot with my gun. Because if I ain't shot with my gun, that means somebody came here and shot me. And, and I thought I had it on that Facebook post. Yeah, right here, they were hidden. Ah, see, that's more of Facebook shadow banning. See two comments, and the comments never show up because they don't want you to see them. And but basically, what it was is that there's a video in there. I did actually that video of people in the attic, And what I write, which I write many times, I said that back in 2012, when I was ambushed and shot, all I had was this crazy story. I'm the first to admit this is a crazy story. Burglar alarms going off the attic, somebody under my home shooting me. That's a crazy story. And they use that to their advantage, call me crazy, and that way they could cover up this violent crime. But that don't work anymore. Now there's proof that I wasn't shot with my gun, proof of multiple other homeowners reporting people in the attic, all over the place, and then multiple people documented as saying tunnels and underground homes are near my home, including a recent candidate for sheriff. You can see one is in my backyard. It's where it's believed a young girl was murdered at a 2010 oil show party. The last homeowner dies the week before the 2008 oil show. It's believed he was murdered here. So anyway, that's what the other two pictures was just the proof on it, and I've got a whole list here. Size of pellets removed from my foot were 2.5 sizes different than what was in my gun. The surgeon stated that he removed a large amount of plastic from the wound, which wouldn't be found there in a shotgun. They were trying to say I shot myself with my gun, and that's a lie, okay? But it's believed I shot myself with a handgun loaded with a special bullet which is pellet-filled plastic tips. That's why they had the plastic in the wound. And the size of pellets here actually match what was in my foot, okay? And so that's only part of the evidence. There's more here. I've got a whole thing here. Size of pellets, the surgeon stated. The CSI who picked up my gun did not check in an empty shell, which would have been in my gun if he didn't check it into evidence if I had shot myself. That's a very important part because he checked in all the other shells, okay? And he's the one that picked up my shotgun from the house. There's a document that says he did. He's a professional crime scene investigator, He's really trying to get to justice and the truth. Bull crap, I think he's trying to cover up capital crimes myself. If I had been shot at point blank range with a 12 gauge shotgun, then I wouldn't have a foot. I've had many people tell me that before. And then there wasn't enough physical room for me to be shot with a 4-foot long shotgun. And then we go, Lisa Rogers is documented telling me I was shot with a 45 handgun. Well, they make that Glazer plastic filled pellet tip bullet for a 45 handgun. And then you got Detective Rodriguez over here, the lifelong friend of the ex-wife, that filed divorce on 5 days before the murder attempt, that's alleged to be involved in the murder attempt, stated there was a tripwire on my gun. I have that thrown in my face 1,000,000 times, right? But there's no tripwire in evidence, and none of the other 10 officers here mentioned a tripwire, including the CSI, the professional crime scene investigator that picked up my gun, okay? Detective Rosa Rodriguez lied on the police report. She lied under testimony, under oath. She is a liar, and she lied in a capital attempted murder case, okay? Based on the evidence found, it's believed that I was shot with a 45 handgun loaded with a special plastic tip pellet-filled bullet called a Glazer safety slug, so they could make it look like I had been shot with my gun when that didn't happen. And ruling my murder an accident would have added extra $500,000 in life insurance. Ex-wife had just taken my life insurance books, right? They showed I had that accidental death and there was a $500,000. And if her friend, Detective Rosie Rodriguez, rules my murder an accident, then she gets an extra $500,000. You see how that works right there, folks? So now you know where the blame lies, right? We need arrests to be made. This buddy, Midland, Texas.